Good afternoon, beloved community. I am Melissa Miller, host of The Chosen Heroes. We have an exciting episode for you this week. Our special guest is Melanie Vritschan, who is the president of ICATOR, and she is going to give us a wonderful, wonderful talk. So knowledgeable, such a powerhouse advocate for all TIs around the world. So wonderful. We're going to kick it off with the targeted justice news and review for this week.
Targeted Justice has recently come across a document signed by President Trump in October 2017. We are still trying to determine how it affects targeted individuals. It is titled National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, and it references National Security Presidential Memorandum 4, signed by Trump in April 2017. Christopher Wray became the director of the FBI on August 2, 2017, and Jeff Sessions became Attorney General on February 9, 2017. We suspect both were involved with the drafting of this memorandum. This memorandum has no requirement for reasonable suspicion or probable cause, although it does say it shall first ensure that appropriate and lawful procedures and safeguards exist to protect individuals' privacy, civil rights, civil liberties, and other constitutional and statutory rights.
Notice the dates on these advertisements in a magazine called Inside SS Global Navigation Satellite Systems. This accuracy has been available since before 2012. The U.S. Space Force is tracking the top of your head 24/7, and the accuracy is less than 1 centimeter, 1/2 inch. This is how the U.S. Space Force at Schriever Base can easily track and attack you anywhere in the world.
This is a government organization led by Biden and Obama appointees. This government council claims to work with major corporations. The truth is, they are part of the U.S. gangstalking program and receive the TSDB updates on a daily basis. They work directly with FBI field offices. According to the Office of Inspector General, all non-investigative subjects in the United States were nominated by FBI field offices. The mission of DSAC states they inform corporations about emerging threats. Why is this fraudulent? Because an FBI agent under oath stated that the terrorist screening database has never been used to stop an act of terrorism, not even once in 22 years.
The Association of Former Intelligence Officers is a national nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the U.S. intelligence community through education, advocacy, and networking. It maintains active chapters across the U.S. The chapter in Texas is the AFIO San Antonio chapter, led by President John Franklin.
Calling all digital warriors. Please share, repost, copy and paste this video on all social media platforms. We are still looking for volunteers. Let us know how you can help and the skill sets that you have by emailing us at tjustice2@proton.me. Put volunteer in the subject line. You can watch targeted justice videos by going to the following link. Buy some cool gifts, shirts, hoodies, cups, keychains, and more by heading to the following links. Please consider donating. Targeted Justice is non-profit, and the donations are tax-deductible. Thank you again for watching this video. God bless. God bless.
As always, such a great job Sean does on the targeted justice news videos. Appreciate his support so much. All right, a few announcements. I just want to give a shout out to Armando with Targeted Source LLC.com, The Silent Night, for those such as myself who experience the auditory effect, V2K, directed energy. This does help me in the evening when I try to rest. The Silent Night, he also has a reset zapper as well. He will be a guest coming up on the podcast in November. As always, Targeted Justice and myself, the Chosen Heroes, want to give acknowledgement and praise to Tranquility at tievents.org. She does a beautiful job of organizing everything related to our community, where everyone has the opportunity to plug in and be heard and supported, either through, attending, the podcast or conference calls or special events, even TI movie night. It's just so much for our community. So God bless her for that. And for those who may not be aware, Anna Toledo is going to Washington, D.C. for a couple of months to, pound the pavement and advocate for all targeted individuals all around the world, trying to educate those, in position and power that may not be aware of what is going on in the violations against us. So if you can donate for this effort, because she needs to have shelter and food while she is there advocating for us all. You can go to www.givesendgo.com/Toledo. Upcoming guest on The Chosen Heroes, November 2nd, is Dominic Halpern. He is the creator of the documentary Cognitive Liberty, Neuroweapons, and the Fight for Brain Privacy. Dominic is working on a new documentary, and he's going to give us a sneak peek, so tune in. On the 9th of November, Dr. Juliet Engel, she's an MK Ultra survivor, and she's also on the board for Targeted Justice. And she has a empowering testimony that she will discuss with us. And as stated, Armando Del Toro will be on November 16th. He is the creator of The Silent Night with his company Target Source LLC. And November 23rd, Derek Robinson, who is the president of PAX International, will be joining us. And other events, the upcoming Beyond the Looking Glass, Targeted Survivor, Counterintelligence training series, co-hosted with me and Jamie Rice of Quantum Reality Studies. The next meeting will be on November 8th. Thank you all who subscribe, follow, like, and share the content from The Chosen Heroes. It's all about spreading awareness to those that are going through it, in addition to those that are not aware. So the more that we can spread those waves of awareness and light out into this world, the better for us all. All right, before I bring up Melanie, I'm going to read her bio and then play a short campaign video clip from ICATOR. So Melanie Vritschan is German and lives in Brussels. She will share her own targeting journey with the audience. During 2 decades, she has gained valuable experience in public relations and events management of international associations. Her former positions involved close cooperation with the European institutions and organization of numerous international conferences and trade shows. Melanie has a proven track record in working with high-level authorities, such as European Commission and European Parliament, the organization of network meetings, needs assessment, and implementation for particular client groups, as well as successfully carrying out pan-European and interregional projects with the aim of promoting international cooperation. Before committing herself fully to her current role as the president of ICATOR, she has worked as the communications manager of a European navigation satellite system developed by the European Space Agency, Prior to this, she was the Public Relations and Events Officer at a European foundation committed to the improvement of rights and situations of youth at risk. The organization is acting as a lobbying and advocacy platform towards the European Union. For most of her life, Melanie was a passionate marathon runner. Melanie has been the team leader of various group marathons she organized for awareness and fundraising, benefiting children charities or homeless persons, refugee projects. To her great regret, such activity is now invisible due to the physiological damage and debility suffered as a consequence of being a victim of electronic terrorism. And as stated, Melanie is ICATOR's, which is the International Coalition Against Electronic Torture and Robotization of Living Beings. She is the president of the organization, and their goal is to expose the inhumane crimes around human experimentation and to reverse this control and power over the people. They are fighting in unison with other organizations around the world. ICATOR has representatives in Belgium, France, Germany, Australia, Japan, China, United States, and United Kingdom. I'm going to play a quick clip from the campaign video, which I will put up the link while Melanie is on the stage. I advise everyone to, watch this. Not only is it educational and it's advocacy of what is being done for us, it is really well put together.
It seems that they can do that. They can also, some of the other things are direct energy weapons that burn people, has been, this is not new technology. This goes back to the 70s and 80s when the Russians did it with our embassy in Moscow. It was used, I think, in the Cuban embassy at all. So it's nothing new. I mean, this is simply the older technology that they're working on much more sophisticated stuff now. And it's like even using brain-computer interfaces and how that can happen and how you can reverse that to have the computer feed the brain as opposed to the brain feed the computer.
Great video. So I'm going to bring Melanie up on the stage. Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And
hello. Thank you for this interview.
Yes. And so everybody knows up on the screen, you will see the link of the video where you saw William Binney discussing the technologies that are being used against us. That is available on YouTube. There is a link there along with ICATOR's website and Melanie's email address that she's graciously given to us if anybody has questions to reach out to her. So again, thank you so much for joining me here today. So can you tell us a little back history and when did you realize that you were being targeted and what events led up to this realization?
Yes, so even before I knew of the existence of these illegal programs targeting law-abiding ordinary citizens, I noticed an unusual amount of problems in the house, for example, breaking down of the heating system repeatedly, plumbing, accidents in the bathroom without having, badly used the toilet or repeatedly. Also, for example, my car was constantly, there were constantly problems without the mechanics in the automobile garage ever being able, obviously, to fix the problem permanently. So there was all this leading up to the actual realization that I had been implanted with some kind of biological and nanotechnology weapon. So that came later. In fact, it came when I woke up in the morning, noticing unusual scars on my body, from which extruded some material, which were like fibers and well, something that I couldn't define, and that scared me a lot. I didn't know what to make of this. So finally, I had this material that extruded my skin analyzed in a toxicological laboratory of a local university. So I consulted a toxicologist and I said, well, this is extruding my skin and I would like you to take samples and analyze this for me, which he did. And what came back is that this material was not of a biological nature. It was polymers and some crystalline material of unknown nature, it said. So they had never seen anything like this. And I said, well, this is obviously an unresolved case. This should never be in your body. And we don't know how it came there, how it got there. And so that soon after this, I was then attacked by directed energy weapons, which were actually electromagnetic shock waves going to my body and burning me, leaving visible burn marks and excruciating pain all over the body. So then, obviously, it dawned on me that I had been selected for an illegal weapons research testing program. That was then very clear at that point.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing that you were able to go to a university and have that toxicology study done on the fibers that were coming up from your skin to get the determination that it was non-organic, which many in our community have experienced these fibrous extrusions coming from the skin, and then now where it's being known that it's Morgellons syndrome is what it's being labeled as.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So,
Yeah.
yes, and so you've experienced the auditory, the V2K as well.
Indeed. So I've really the full spectrum of targeting techniques and methods that are deployed against me. So I have indeed these artificial auditory effects. I have the electronic shock sensations in various extremities of my body, needle-like sensations, frequent sensations of heat, frequent muscle spasms that are electronically induced. I cannot even remember that I had spasms, cramps before. Maybe if I stay too long in the swimming pool, or but not. This is very clearly that they're electronically induced. Brain stimulation experience, feeling of extreme fatigue, dream manipulation, and also palpitations of the heart without having any prior diagnosis of a heart defect. Or, as you said in the introduction, I was a marathon runner, so I was very fit. So I never had any palpitation problems. Or and later then, when we put a method in place to actually scientifically prove my implantation, but more importantly, non-consensual implantation of our members, that it's very clearly that I have an implant in the heart that provokes these palpitations.
Oh my goodness. I mean, just so many of what you described as sensations that, I myself go through and so many others. Alana Toledo had shared with me about the V2K telling you that you were a failed experiment. So to me, I think that and can you discuss on that? And I guess none of the tricks they were trying was working.
Yeah, and I have tried a lot of these because, in addition to what I've just described, which are more the physical symptoms, and I hesitate to use the word symptoms because symptoms it's what you use for a disease. This is not a disease; it's an attack.
Mm-hmm.
I've had also the whole plethora of this psychological warfare techniques, like continuous vandalization of my car, making cuts in the seat tissue, destroying the radio, putting nails in my tires or cutting them. And when they happen, when this happens, it happens more frequently. When, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I organized also RFs, radio frequency scanning program for our members, so that we used to do this in a Faraday cage to actually prove the non-consensual implantation of our members scientifically, and so to be able to prove the crimes committed against them. And very often when they know that I need to use my car to drive our members and myself to this location so that we can scan them, 2 or 3 days before, obviously, they cut my tires. So I cannot use them and use the car. And and they have tried to provoke accidents repeatedly, which I could just about avoid. So they've done really a lot of things to prevent me to bring our members to this location, so to provide them with the scientific evidence of the cyber crimes committed against them. And it's then when they told me, because I was always able to to counter these attempts to get rid of me, let's say, just before a scanning event. So because I couldn't use the car then, but I myself took a taxi to the location, and I had asked a couple of supporters if they could take people in the car and drive them there. And I have also organized that if really I was prevented to go there, that I had 2 or 3 people that were fully aware of what was going to happen on that day, so that to make sure that to bring the people to the location so they could get this proof. And as even if they had cut my tires, I found a way to bring everybody safely there, including myself. That it was then when they said, well, we know whatever we do, we really are a failed experiment, because we'll never get rid of you. We never succeeded in getting rid of you. And they added that they had to kill me then. And I said, I usually try not to reply to them, because then it gets into this brain entrainment mechanism, which I want to avoid. But then I replied with my thoughts saying, well, actually, this is true, because unless you kill me, and I don't think they will succeed, I will go through with this until the end, until this is proven and until, this crime will end. So I'm fully committed to that. So, but that was the occasion when I said that I was a failed experiment.
Yes, I mean, well, we can all claim victory that we're failed experiments of this, because we're getting up each day and we're navigating through and doing what it takes, to expose these atrocities that are happening to so many of us, to get it shut down. No, we can't, this is the time, in this world now to start making the waves, as more and more things are suggesting a mass global surveillance. So we have to, be the ones bringing forward what these technologies are capable of. They can spin it for our, the masses protection with the, digital ID and all these things that are coming up. But we have to bring awareness of what comes with this technology and what it is truly capable of. So do you have, what do you do to get through the tough times, and what advice would you have for those that are having these things done to them and are really struggling to find their footing and start a new life post-targeting?
Yes, so this technology is obviously as invasive as it can get. So it's difficult to give advice and even, I think, more difficult to follow it. But I think it's very important, especially for those who have the voice-to-skull technology, the voices beamed into their head, is not to listen to them, because I have a lot of victims that always tell me, well, they tell me this, this, and this, do this, and this, and this, and I reply this, and this, and this, or I do this to avoid that they'll torture me more. I know it's very hard to resist to these constant orders, and but not to give in to this. So and try not to get in this responsive order and response pattern, because that's when this brain entrainment happens, and where they actually get to direct your life in a certain sense. So it is very difficult to keep your free, arbitrary, your free spirit when you are subject to such an invasive technology. But I try to not to, so to speak, get into this brain feedback loop in this response pattern, let's say. And I think also what is very important is not to stay isolated. So for me, but to join an association that represents your interests and defends your interests. For me personally, it was very important when I understood, what had happened. It was very important to, for example, to found an association. First of all, in founding it, it's already to make a statement, or to political statement, that this problem exists, that this crime exists. And it was for me a way of not just to suffer, and be alone, but to actively respond to this attack, and to counter it, and do everything that is in my power to end this program, to protect the victims, myself, because and also to to have these technologies regulated, and any technology that should or would take away the free
The free will.
free will. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking for my words. That should be totally prohibited. And it was important to me, while I'm on this earth, to participate in this process. And it helped me a lot also, creating ICATOR. And it's not easy every day to do this kind of work, but it helped me a lot getting out of this victim situation, and actually stand up and do something about it. So it makes me feel much better, and it is very difficult to live as a victim, but it doesn't take away my victim state, but it helped me a lot to actually feel better, and to resist.
Yes, it's taking the pain and the suffering and putting it into purpose, which is advocacy and awareness, and helping others that are going through this, and they just need a lifeline of support and encouragement, and sharing amongst the community, and things that might help mitigate some of the attacks and things that are being done to us. Very sound advice that you gave. I cannot say, and I say it frequently to the audience, is to not engage with any of the auditory, because like you said, to me, once you extend your hand, you're doing the dance, and there's that entrainment, and it gets harder and harder to disconnect from it if you are, acknowledging it and giving it power. So I always say starve it, do not give it power. Just, develop your own, mitigation techniques, listening to background noise, playing music, doing things that occupy your attention and time to avoid it. And to equate it as just like background noise at a restaurant, that doesn't mean anything, because 99% of it is garbage.
Absolutely. Good word.
So it's just when I was doing research, last year, and just, I had kind of hung up my hat on research because I'm, 13 years into this experience. But then I was like, I was really feeling an urging, like, God was urging me to take a look and see what was out there. And then I discovered targeted justice and ICATOR as well, because when I was looking at YouTube videos online, I came across one with Craig LaForest, which is one of your members, and Robert. Board member. Yes, and Robert Duncan, and that's how I found out about ICATOR and all the wonderful things that you're doing. It's so good to have organizations like yours out there, alongside, Targeted Justice and PAX International, that are out there advocating and exposing what is being done to us. Are there any projects that you're currently working on with ICATOR, and how can the community assist?
Yeah, we'll obviously have this, class action lawsuit that we're preparing for our members. And also there, leading up to this, there were a lot of awareness raising conferences with our partner association, which is a lawyers association. It's called Rights and Freedoms, Droit et Liberté, here in Brussels. So we were doing this quite a lot. We were planning the law set, preparing for it. This had to be recently put a little bit, in the back, or let's say, because we had to deal with a lawsuit, an internal lawsuit of one of our former board members who was fighting his exclusion. Well, he had said that exclusion had not been regular. Finally, it forced us to go to court, and all of his claims were dismissed as unfounded by the judge, and we won on all accounts. So but it took a little bit away the time, or my time especially, to prepare the class action lawsuit, which is really our flagship project, or main project, because this is really what something is really, really important to me. So there's a last hearing planned now on the 4th of November, when we will hopefully be able to close this internal lawsuit forever. But it also led to something which also took a lot of my time. Often I went to court to represent us ourselves, so that to avoid unnecessary legal fees, which we did have. We needed to obviously take a lawyer, but whenever it was possible to represent us ourselves, I went myself to court, and we won. But in the process of this, we did also something which had to be done anyway. In fact, the code of associations and companies in Belgium has changed in the meantime, since I founded ICATOR in 2016. So our bylaws, our statutes had to be updated. So that also took a lot of time, and by the same in the same hearing on the 4th of November, hopefully the judge will also accept our new statutes that will be published in the Belgian official journal now any day. So this had to be done. It was something that was a little bit unforeseen, but well, obviously we had to deal with if somebody sues you, we'll have to deal with this. We won,
Yeah.
and it's to be finalized. But then, so we can fully concentrate again on our class action lawsuit, which is really what we want and must do.
Yes.
Then, yeah, so there have been many projects before. So as I said before, to gather the scientific evidence of people's non-consensual implantation. Like there have been many radio frequency scannings done by private investigators we collaborate with, or research institutes to provide our members with the evidence of the crimes committed against them that we will use, obviously, in the class action lawsuit. So yeah, that's what we're busy with, and we had done a lot of conferences also to raise awareness, together with our lawyer association to raise awareness for this crime, which is still, obviously through the political fight that so many people like Anna Toledo, myself, Derek Robertson, Craig Laforas, yourself, are engaged in. This cybercrime is getting more and more known. But it was not at the beginning when I started ICATOR, so there was a lot of awareness raising work that was also necessary.
And I want to mention to the audience too that there's so much good information on ICATOR's website, which is https://icator.be. I have it up on the screen as well. I see that there's information about this is an international lawsuit. So no matter, where you are in the world, you can join and be a part of this class action. In addition to that, there's many articles out there on helpful information on medical and laboratory tests that you can take to start, collecting your evidence and other items about evidence collection, including the RF scans that Melanie mentioned. So great information out on the website. Melanie, how do you, is there any plans in the works for ICATOR to work with other organizations on specific projects?
Well, we already do work with other associations. So I just mentioned the Lawyers Association Rights and Freedoms.
Yes.
And it was with them some time ago, I think 2 years ago, Anna Toledo actually came to Brussels. Mm-hmm. And we organized a conference together with Rights and Freedoms, obviously targeted justice. So Anna presented the lawsuit that she was running at the time, and we presented ICATOR. And then there were a former board member, Harald Brems, who had created his own association as well, who was there to film the whole conferences, and also we explained his role and the association he had founded. We, as you just mentioned, we obviously have representatives really worldwide, and we there's rights and freedoms, and then there's also pacts, of course, because people against cover torture and surveillance, I think, and Derek Robertson is also on our board, and he's our vice president. So we're also working closely with Targeted Justice, with pacts, with Derek's on the board. So there is already, I think, good collaboration in place, which in future, of course, I would like to intensify and even work more closely together ever, because I believe that it is really, really crucial that we collaborate to bring this crime to an end. It's not just a few individuals or one organization that can stop this. It has to be a global effort.
Yes, and it's so important for all the organizations to, have that open communication amongst each other, because we're all in this fight together, and strength in numbers. We're all together in this, and there's so much going on. There's so much great work that ICATOR, is doing in the efforts with this international class action. I advise everybody to read more about that and go visit the website. So, how can the TI community expand efforts in Europe? Are we missing certain government organizations that are involved? We have a lot of TIs reach out from Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously difficult to name some official, like, without evidence, but I mean, I think we can just use our common sense.
Mhm.
For example, there's obviously in Europe there was this EU project that ran from 2013 to 2023. The Human Brain Project, which was a project that allowed for 1 billion euros, I believe, that allowed researchers to have very advanced access to brain research, and that was using supercomputers. I mean, the famous, brain-machine interface. So I think there is a safe place, well, safe, so to speak, to look for an involvement. Obviously, then there's also NATO is obviously involved in this, and well, the EU is just a political arm of NATO. It's not an institution that is democratically voted for. It is heads of state, states that decide. And then we have also numerous private actors, companies like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, that obviously are involved in this targeting, and that I think believe they need a much more closer look and democratical oversight, and this is the case until now. Well, then there are obviously just criminal actors, for example, these private surveillance companies. I believe that Dr. John Hall, who wrote, when he wrote his first book, Satellite Terrorism in America, they were able to identify the attackers of his friend, and it seemed to be that there were former FBI agents and who involved all his family or acquaintances in this targeting. Dr. Hall's fiance at the time. So there are numerous actors, but I think, obviously, now the European Commission has just launched, after the Human Brain Project, they have launched a successor project that is called, I believe, the European Brain Research Initiatives. So it's obvious that, if you want to research the human brain, well, there is research that has to be done, and that is, in many cases, not consensual. So I think
And
that is.
I think that it's pretty common that even with having just routine or simple, medical procedures, the medical trafficking, the not being aware that you may be implanted with something, or, have something done to you within, that procedure itself. How do you think that, people come into having the implants being put into them?
Well, I think there are various ways that this can happen and this can be done. There are the people that go have a surgery for something well, just a regular surgery. And if you look at how easy it is actually to implant somebody, all you need is a needle,
Yeah.
basically. So that can be done at that time. And then I think it's also the fact that usually when we look at our statistics and when we see who the victims are, there are a lot of people that are isolated. So there are either, more women than men, a lot of single women. Many of them are not in their home country. So, and I think it is easy to enter a victim's home at night. Actually, that has been confirmed to us by, people that used to work for the as secret services, and that this can be done. In putting the victim to sleep and actually having the procedure done, while in their home during the night. I don't know personally what happened to me. What could corroborate this is that I woke up, in my home in the morning, realizing that I had scars on my body that I could not explain and that had not been there the evening before, and that I were very, very clearly new scars. That from which then extruded this material that I had analyzed in this toxicological laboratory. So I think both ways are possible, or then there are even these smart pills that you can just put in a drink if somebody is not paying attention, and you drink. They can be even ingested, and you can be implanted this way. So there's really numerous ways of implanting a person, bearing in mind that it's very easy, that all you need is a needle.
Yeah.
So it's not complicated.
Yes, it's such advanced technology. There's just so many ways that it could happen. But for sure, with those that are experiencing, the heat sensations, the palpitations, the burning, tingling, the electrical throughout the body, it has to be it's connecting into something, right? In addition to being projected at you as well. I deal with that on a daily basis. So, what executives in government is ICATOR reaching out to expose the program? Are you making any efforts to arrange meetings with them? Is there something that people within that they can reach out to these officials as well? Do you have any recommendations on our community and who they can reach out to or should reach out to expose the programs?
Yeah, so we have obviously reached out to various, government officials, and we have organized also meetings. For example, we met with the European Parliament Committee on Civil Rights, Home Affairs and Civil Rights, which is the committee that deals with human rights within the European Union, that is supposed to surveil that the European Convention on Human Rights is respected. And so we have organized various meetings in the European Parliament, met with officials there, met with members of the European Parliament. And we have also have contacts, or we are still in ongoing contact with the United Nations, and especially the Committee on People with Disabilities, because this really is a disability. It is really a grave impairment of in a victim's life. And we're currently in negotiation of being able to present ICATOR and our work at the next session of the committee, which should be in next spring. to have what is called a thematic briefing. So the Committee on People with Disabilities, but there are other committees we can approach as well, like cybercrime, and it is a body of independent experts that are there to watch that the states respect do not violate the human rights and the different treaties. So we are in the process of organizing this, and hopefully we were supposed to present already in the summer session, so now in August. But it turns out that UN themselves, they had very severe budgetary restrictions. So until the very, very late, they did not know if there were if they could organize the summer session, and then got the permission very late, the information that it was going ahead, but in a reduced format. So by the time they heard that they could actually hold the summer session, it was too late to organize the thematic briefing, the ICATOR thematic briefing. So we had Derek Robertson, our vice president, and myself, we had a meeting this summer with them on the 24th of July to discuss then the preparations for presentation, ICATOR's presentation, rather than in the next spring session, which leaves us a little bit more time. And by when the update of our statutes could be finalized, and also the internal laws that I mentioned before.
Well, exciting things in motion. I mean, I just every day there's just so much. I think that we are really making a dent in the awareness out there, and with more and more, targeted individuals coming forward. How important is it for targeted individuals to share their story and to connect with others and to volunteer and spread the word that these programs exist?
Yeah, I think it's really crucial. I think it's the crucial element that will allow us to at the end of the day to end really these criminal programs. It's very important for targeted individuals to connect, to do not remain in isolation, and it is these. That's why I wanted to thank also yourself to allowing me or us to have this platform. I think this is really, really important to raise awareness, because it is only the fact where if we educate the public that citizens around the globe realize that these illegal targeting programs exist, that will allow us to shut them down ultimately. So I know it is very hard, but we cannot stop educating the public, and programs like this are very important. I would also like to thank Dominic Alpin, who has made the first, who did this documentary. ICATOR also participated, and who's now, as you mentioned in the introduction, busy filming the second sequel to the documentary. I think only these initiatives will allow us to ultimately stop the program. If you look at MK Ultra, for example, it was finally the victims and their families who succeeded in raising awareness with the necessary government official, that is, the church committee was put into place, and to ultimately, at least we were told at the time that these programs were shut down. We now know was not the case, but at least victims were compensated, and who rose awareness, and at least the program was shut down. I believe it continued under other names, and
Yes.
But it is only, and it's now much more advanced, of obviously the technology. But it is only this way that we will finally succeed in ending this.
Amen. I mean, it's just, some may feel like what could they do to help and pitch in? But really, just speaking out and joining and being in community with others that are going through the same thing, and tuning into the conference calls and the podcasts, you're going to get out of that place of this, isolation, which this experience can be extremely isolating. And to me, that's exactly what this program wants you to be, is isolated. It does not want you to have that, human connection and interaction with others, and especially not speak about it. But we must understand that this is not a dirty secret that we carry, right? This is something that is being done against us. Our human rights have been violated. Our bodies have been violated in the most inhumane ways, and we're not taking it anymore. We have to use our greatest weapon, which is our voice, our hands, to write and communicate and to educate the general public. We have to always remember that in this time right now, where these things are being revealed, that many, were led to believe one way, and then they come to find that the government has participated in things that, that were covered up. All of these exposures that are coming forward right now, I've said it many times, is the ground being primed for us and what we say to be, better received by others, because now they're like, well, this has happened. These things are being said about vaccines. These things are being exposed as being cover-ups, and all of these things that are in motion right now. This is our time to move forward, to charge forward and get that information out there, and letting just anyone that is in the general public that wasn't aware, and spreading them the awareness through videos that have been created by the ICATOR, by Targeted Justice, PAX International, these conferences that have been put out on YouTube and such, and putting them into small clips, always having patent numbers, supporting it, and other things. The way that we speak to the public is going to gauge whether or not they will receive the information. Do you have some tips on how people can speak to someone that it may not be aware of what is going on, so that the message is better received?
Yeah, I think it's especially at the beginning of targeting, it is so overwhelming, that it is difficult for a victim to talk to a government official, or even to police, or so, without immediately being put into this, cast as delusional. Or so I think what helped me, I mean, right at the beginning, before creating ICATOR, I was involved in a Californian-based association, the International Center Against the Abuse of Covered Technologies. So I think it is better. Well, first of all, it is very reassuring, and to know that you're not alone, and to meet people that go through the same thing, so the same experience. So I think it is important to join an association, to get into contact with other victims that will understand what you're going through. And then, well, at the beginning, let people that are in this association, that live this for a long time, and have learned to represent this cause, and to speak to government officials, to speak for you, first of all, so that you're represented. then when you're longer in this experience, and also the first shock of this, because when you first targeted, it's so overwhelming. I mean, the emails that I get, so many emails per day, I obviously know, because I'm a victim myself, I'm a target myself, I know exactly what the person is talking about. But a government official that does not know anything about this illegal targeting program, that receives this, will probably, pretty quickly assume that this is just a mental case, or it's difficult to believe this, or when you read it through, to take it seriously. So I think once you have met other people that go through the same experience, and that you are part of an association that represents your interests, as you go along, then you will learn how to speak to people that you will come across as serious, that will take you seriously, and that will also provide you an association with some proof, or at least circumstantial evidence of the crime committed against you. So I think then, when you are more secure and go through this targeting, have met with other people, exchange your experience, then if you want to, you can take on a bigger role, and also start to represent others, to defend their rights and interests. So, but at the first, I know that you're very tempted to immediately tell everybody about this, what you're going through. But most of the time, people that are not targeted will really have difficulties to believe it. So, and your family will start to treat you differently. So I think the first step is to join an association that represents this cause, and that understands what you're going through. And then when you meet other people, you will feel more secure, and then you can take on a role to actually defend others and represent people that go through, live through this horrible experience, and are victims of this crime as well. But I
Yes,
would not immediately, I know it's very tempting to talk about it immediately to everybody, but I would rather first join an association, talk to other victims, to learn how to present this crime to be taken seriously.
Very, very sound, wise advice. I wish in 2012, when this began happening to me, that there was an organization like ICATOR and Targeted Justice at that time. I didn't find out about the existence of the organizations until much later. So now with social media and web pages and all of this, it's a little bit more easier to find. But then again, you have to know the words to search for, which I think that we do a really good job about getting that information out on the web, in terms for those that are experiences and new to experience it, to find the information. You just want someone to understand in the beginning what you're going through. And when you talk about it to someone that isn't having it happen to them, they're only meeting you at their level of consciousness, which is they have no understanding or faculties to understand what you're going through. And it does sound bizarre, and it does, the way that this program is designed is to make us look or appear, delusional, conspiracy theory, and mentally unstable, all of that. So we're fighting that narrative. But I can't stress enough what Melanie said in the beginning. When this is happening, you're trying to gain your footing, you're trying to figure out what is going on. You need to lean on those that know it in and out, and have lived and breathed it day in and day out, for some of us, many years, and get that wisdom from those within the community and the organizations. Plug in, attend the events, whether they be online, in person. This is where, like Melanie said, you're going to gain, security, be more secure with yourself, in understanding what you're up against and how, ways to navigate through it. Because unfortunately it comes with the territory, the rejection of, you're trying to reach out to law enforcement, doctors, and they're just going to, go with the delusional mental illness route of things. So again, these are the things that, we who have gone through this for many years have gone through it before, and we want to share and translate that knowledge over to those that are new into this, so that you don't have to go through all of these stumbling blocks and setbacks, and that you get the information up front, which we had to learn it the hard way.
Yeah, correct.
So that's why it's so important to join organizations that are, doing advocacy and outreach, and, educating the officials, the government officials, and general public, because that's where your strength is really going to be. Is there any additional tips or wisdom that you've gained through your personal experience of being targeted that you would like to share with our audience before you go?
Well, I don't know if it's about wisdom, but what I would say, because I had a good life before, I was working full time, and earning a good salary, physically in good form and good health, having friends, quite international, circle of friends, everything. Let's say you could say I had everything going for me, but when I compare my life then and now, what it probably lacked, I don't want to say that there is, it is positive to be targeted. This, I really don't want to say that. I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying, but what it maybe lacked a bit my life at that time was really a meaning, a real powerful sense of usefulness, or let's say, I think it was Muhammad Ali who said the service to others we do here on earth is the rent we pay for a place in heaven. And don't want it to get too how do you say, to go into philosophy too deep. But what it brought to me is really, it gave really my life a sense. I mean, it totally changed the orientation of my life, that is for sure. And also, of course, financially, it's much more difficult what all the targets are going through. But what it brought to me is a very deep sense of why I am on this earth, and the role I have to fulfill, so that we make of this earth a safer place and a better place. And that way, that is something I carry with me, and I think that it's really positive. That it gave my life a meaning, something which I had never had imagined before. And so when I leave this planet, I think I will have the feeling that I have contributed to making this place a better and a safer place, this earth, and that's something that is really fulfilling.
Amen. That was so beautifully stated. I agree also with you. I think that it's, for some, it can be a trap looking back before being targeted, but I can say I struggled with anger and all of that in the beginning, and the grief and the loss of that previous existence, knowing that no moment was sacred. It was all invaded and so violated in that way. But then, as Melanie said, you can take all of that experience and turn it into, helping others. And I myself, 13 years into it, also believe that it's part of my soul mission, to help others in this very important time for humanity, to expose these weapons being used against us in this technology. So that is where you turn the tides, and it teaches you in this experience just how strong, how capable you are, and how you can make it a difference for others in what they're going through similarly as yourself. So thank you again. That was so beautifully said. And
Well,
it's hard. It's hard sometimes when people are under such heavy attack, and it's in the beginning. But just know that, just first and foremost, you can never give up on yourself. You can never stop believing and having hope and in humanity, because this whole experience can have you distrusting everyone, because you don't know who is a participant in this, the things being done to you. But then you become to understand that, just with anything, there are good people on this earth, and we need to reach them and let them know what has happened to us. So, because the future of humanity is on the line if we do not get this out and expose it. So it's very important work. And by living and continuing to get up and continuing to move the needle in your mark on your life, and getting back out there and not being withdrawn and isolated, plug into your community where there's so much support there. You just have to, extend your hand, and someone will help you. So again, Melanie, I really appreciate you, being a guest here today and sharing your experience and talking to us about ICATOR. I want to, mention that ICATOR, you can join. They have membership. You can donate. You can reach out in regards to the international class action lawsuit. All of the information is on their website at icator.be, and then donations and membership are through fundraiser, which there is a link underneath the ICATOR logo on the screen. And Melanie, as I said, has extended anyone who wants to reach out with a question. Her email address is Melanie Vritschan at icator.be. Again, Melanie, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that you shared today.
Thank you so much for this interview. This is really important. And thank you also for your work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And God bless, and have a great week ahead. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.